Melbourne's media has descended on the small central Victorian town of Clunes for the second time this month.
Detectives are trying to piece together exactly what happened here.
Locals were still coming to terms with the alleged murder of 23-year-old Hannah Maguire when they learnt a Melbourne woman had died inside this quaint-looking gift shop, the Soul Barn.
I think everybody's shattered, actually.
I can really say the whole town is grieving.
I hope you are all having a
It was earlier this month when Rachel Dixon, a 53-year-old health professional from Melbourne's eastern suburbs, made the 2-hour drive to Clunes, north of Ballarat, to attend Soul Barn's Creative Wellness Centre. First responders who attended the scene say by about midnight she was dead.
It's Michelle from Soul Barn. I'm just down.
Soul Barn is run by Michelle Mullins, who runs sound healing sessions. The space is also hired out to tarot card readers, alternative medicine and healing practitioners, and beauty and massage therapists. Sandra Nichols is a friend of Michelle Mullins.
I love the Soul Barn. It's a beautiful space. You can go there to buy crystals, beautiful soaps, all sorts of interesting things. I know that she runs a yoga class, sound healing, as well as some spiritual people that come in.
Sandra Nichols hopes to hold her own seminar here, which is called Overcoming Eco-Anxiety.
She leases out the back part of the building to various workshop practitioners, and she's very popular in town.
Further details of the event, attended by Rachel Dixon, remains a mystery, but 7:30 has been told by a first responder who's a local here that he was alerted to the incident via an app, and when he arrived he performed CPR on Rachel Dixon and tried desperately to save her, but she tragically died shortly after the ambulance arrived. 2 other people were taken to hospital under observation but were released shortly afterwards. Further requests by 7:30 for details about the event have gone unanswered by Michelle Mullins, who denies she was at this venue when Rachel Dixon died. In a statement on social media, Michelle Mullins described her deep sorrow and shock at the tragic incident. The owner also said the event attended by Rachel Dixon was a private event, and those facilitating it do not work for or represent Soul Barn in any way. Police are investigating whether Rachel Dixon's death came after ingesting a drink made with mushrooms, and have not ruled out them being toxic or psychedelic. You've never heard of people doing anything, sort of illicit activity inside or...
Oh, absolutely not. No, Michelle wouldn't tolerate that. Absolutely not.
The death of the 53-year-old from Ringwood North has thrust alternative medicine and therapies into the spotlight.
We know that Jared Antonovich had used Cambo. He'd also used another substance with its origins in these shamanic rituals.
In 2021, a Melbourne man died in Byron Bay after taking part in a 6-day psychedelic ceremony. A coroner is now investigating. The inquest comes after the New South Wales coroner found earlier this year a 39-year-old woman from Mullumbimby died of a heart attack after taking psychedelics.
I think these things are becoming more popular and more mainstream with people because traditionally, they may have fallen in the recreational drug category, and people may have, thought of these as fringe therapies or, not necessarily available or not necessarily for them.
Professor John Wardle has been practising as a naturopath for 3 decades. He's observed a growing number of Australians seeking out illegal psychedelics, prescribed or recommended by unregistered practitioners.
It has increased considerably over the last decade. So, previously, even 10 years ago, you might have seen that, 1 in 10 people were using psychedelics as a largely recreational tool then, but now it's closer to 1/4 to 1/3 of the population in Australia have had, at least one experience, and that's actually growing year on year.
Okay, just a little hit. You got it.
Illegal use of psychedelics is shrouded in secrecy, but 40-year-old mum of 2, Emily Cullican, is willing to discuss her foray into the world of mind-altering substances.
You kind of need to have these controlled parameters.
About 3 years ago, a naturopath recommended she try psychedelics to treat her depression.
Initially it was a naturopath that had mentioned Cambo.
Cambo is the dried skin secretions of a giant South American frog, which is absorbed by the skin.
And I was like, well, this sounds really interesting, and I looked into that and started using that and the impact on my health and my mental health for about 30 days afterwards was pretty amazing.
Emily's curiosity led her to try ayahuasca, an extremely powerful plant-based psychedelic, magic mushrooms, and bufo, which is the venom of a toad. What does it look like?
Look, it really depends on the medicine. Like sitting in a circle around a fire, ayahuasca, but for other medicines it might be that you're on your own, away from the group, and that you have a facilitator coming around to be with you during that process.
We need to make sure that people offering these experiences and journeys actually have some form of health training so that they can actually identify, when symptoms do become serious and actually take appropriate action when that occurs.
You said you've had a lot of positive experiences.
Yes.
Any really negative ones where you've thought, geez, I'm not doing that again?
Yes, but it's been after the fact. It's been in the integration where I'm like, oh, this has just brought up all of this horrible stuff for me. What have I done? Now, in the process of bearing that and processing it, I've come out the other side and been like, oh, okay. Yeah, I've gained so much and so much wisdom.
Australia's medical regulator does not register naturopaths as medical practitioners, and ayahuasca, cambo and other South American psychedelics are not TGA approved and are illegal.
We really need to take the potential of psychedelics as a therapy seriously, but we do need to make sure that the adequate protections, regulations and safety nets are actually there for people using them.
Back in Clunes, locals are still coming to terms with the tragedy, and police are hoping a toxicology report, due to be completed in about a month, will shed some light on what killed Rachel Dixon.
It's quite devastating for a lot of us in Clunes that this terrible tragedy has happened.